We've got a real mix of mods this week, including one that really is going to pull on those nostalgia strings. Welcome to episode 34 of the Fallout 4 Mod Vault. Does your automatron clash with your outfit? Have you ever wished they would look more part of the team? Well, now, perhaps they can. With a mod called Assaultron PowerArmor, you can place power armor on any of your automatrons if they have Assaultron body parts. You can use power armor types of the major 5 groups: Raider, T45, T51, T60 and X01, and you can mix and match power armor types as you can with normal power armor, but you can also mix and match those armor pieces with the standard armors to get some really interesting mixes. You can even mix the different robot types, so if you want different legs, for example Mr. Handy thruster legs, or perhaps you'd prefer a sentry bot type automatron, you can do that, although those pieces will not allow you to put power armor on them for fairly obvious reasons. The mod works seamlessly with the standard automatron crafting station. You'll barely notice that it's a mod, and you really can come up with quite a lot of interesting little, well, concoctions. And you actually can use many of the new paints that you're going to find in some of the DLC, which actually allows you to make a lot of very cool themed automatrons. This is yet another great idea that's been really well done. I think if you are into creating automatrons and want to try something a little new, you owe it to yourself to try this mod out. The next mod I'm going to show you is called Disable Headbob, and unsurprisingly enough, what it does is it disables the headbob that you get in Fallout 4. Now, some of you may not have realised that Fallout 4 has headbob. It is reasonably subtle, but it is there. However, if you didn't realise it, you've probably not spent a lot of time moving around in power armor, because the headbob in power armor is far more pronounced. Some people really like the headbob because it does give you a more realistic sense of motion. It mimics the movement your head would make whilst moving around. But for some, it can actually cause discomfort and, believe it or not, even nausea. One of the things I didn't realise when I made Immersive HUD and disabled all of the heads-up display elements was that some people actually need the dot crosshair to focus on whilst moving to combat the feelings of sickness they get. Now, I personally don't feel nauseous when moving around in powered armor, but I do feel uncomfortable if I'm trying to look around for things. So if I'm in a building and I'm scanning around looking for junk, looking for loot and so on, I actually get a little tired if I do it in powered armor, and so usually once I've cleared an area, I will climb out of my powered armor and do all my looting. So if you have been feeling any discomfort or any nausea when climbing in powered armor or playing Fallout 4 in general, you might want to try disabling the headbob with this mod and see if that helps. Now, I can tell you, if you sprint, you still get the headbob, and I think that's okay actually. It really does give you far more feeling of movement, and that will contrast with when you are walking normally. If you do feel nauseous during those periods, just sort of concentrate on the horizon where you are running to. This mod does replace the weapon animations, and so if you've got any weapons that have been added by mods, it probably will not work for those. When you take your weapon out, you will get some headbob, but once you put the weapon away, it will be gone. These are my pre-war binoculars. That's right, I can now look off into the distance without having to point a sniper rifle at whatever it is I'm trying to look at. It classifies as a weapon, although you can probably ignore all of the statistics, and you can get it in rare drops. You can apparently buy it from some vendors, or if you're using the armor and weapon resource keyword mod, you can craft them at the weaponsmith workbench. You can actually modify these binoculars at the standard weapons bench. You can change the zoom anywhere from 4 all the way to 10. You can actually change the pre-war metal body as well to a lightweight body, which is obviously a little more lightweight. But once you change it to the lightweight body, you get a few more options. You can add a recon module that will highlight enemy targets on your map if you want. And you can also add a night vision module. Don't worry, this is not permanently on. This is one of the things I quite like about these binoculars. I've now got night vision installed, and I will wait until night has fallen. Until you switch the night vision on, they function as standard binoculars. You press fire, and it changes the mode, and now you have night vision. Press fire again, and it will toggle back to the standard binoculars. They weigh only 1.2 pounds, so it's pretty easy to take with you, and it's going to be great for people who don't have large sniper type weapons but want to be able to scan an area before they move in. In a previous video I showed you the Highwayman, which was a car that you could use for a limited sort of fast travel. And by limited, I mean you could travel from most of your settlements to other settlements and a few different cities. It was extremely cool, very convenient, but of course it did have the disadvantage of having 4 wheels, which when you consider the state of the roads in the Commonwealth could present a bit of a problem to a car. If only there were some way to do the same, but with 2 wheels. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the Lone Wanderer. Yes, you can now have your very own motorbike. It comes in a variety of colours, some of them clean, some of them dirty. I liked the default rusty red, so I'm sticking with it. It works in an almost identical manner to the Highwayman mod. You just walk up to the motorcycle, activate it. You can choose cities or settlements. I'm going to take this to Grey Garden, for example. You'll have a loud engine noise, and then you will fast travel to your destination. By default, the bike requires oil. You will fill up the fuel can. As you can see, I've got 48 oil left. You can actually adjust this and many other things in the settings holotape. The bike comes with saddlebags, which you can pretty much load with as much stuff as you want, I think. I tried to load it with quite a lot of gear and could not find a limit. And there's a medical supplies box, although you can put what you like in there as well, but you've got 2 different storage spaces. You will occasionally need to inspect the tyres and the engine to see if there are any repairs needed. By default, you cannot ride whilst wearing power armor, which seems reasonable, but you can upgrade the bike to have better suspension, and then you can in fact sit on it with 3 tons of power armor. Now, I won't tell you where to find it just in case you like surprises, but when you find it, you might want to be carrying a few components because it will need to be fixed. If I go to the workbench and examine it, I'm going to need steel, aluminium, oil, adhesive and ceramic. You might want to bring a few other things like springs and cloth because there are some upgrades. I will repair it and the bike will disappear from the bench and will now be found outside. I'm not going to show you where, again, just in case you like surprises. In the same location, you will also find cup holder blueprints, fuel efficiency upgrade blueprints, bobblehead upgrade blueprints, reinforced suspension blueprints, and campsite upgrade blueprints. Activating the same motorcycle workbench once again will give you access to a settings holotape, which you already have one actually, but if you lose it you can create another, and motorcycle upgrades with all of the diagrams, all of the recipes you have just picked up. They do have some requirements, and I don't meet this one, for example. I don't have the chemist perk at the moment. I now have a cup holder that can store my beer because of course that's a really great idea when riding around the Commonwealth. I have a repair bobblehead that gives me an automatic repair every few hours, and I even have camping equipment that will let me set up camp. Now, The location I'm parked at right now is a settlement, and I do have beds there, so you might be wondering what is the point of having camping equipment, and that's a fair question. But there are some locations where you will not have a bed, and also maybe you just want a little privacy. If you activate the camping equipment and set up camp here for the night, a tent will appear with a sleeping bag and a cooking station. You can cook your meals, have a night's sleep. It's all very cozy. It's pretty convenient if you're on survival mode, and honestly, it adds a little bit of extra atmosphere. There is a settings tape that will allow you to change a lot of things. It comes under miscellaneous, and if you're using a mod that sorts your inventory, it will come under settings, holotapes, and lone wanderer options. You can change just about everything from whether or not you get attacked when you arrive somewhere, how much oil you use, and well, you can check it out yourself and see the massive number of options you have. You can also order a settler to move a motorcycle from one settlement to the other, which obviously could be very convenient if you've done some traveling on foot. The author of this mod has also made another mod called Armored Personnel Carrier, and it does pretty much the same thing but in a large vehicle, and I was actually going to cover that, but when I saw this one I just kind of fell in love with it. It really does have the right kind of feel for Fallout 4. For some reason this mod seems very believable, and it just has that little touch of, I don't know, style. It's cool. Let's face it, it's a motorbike. It's cool. This is the TES-51 PowerArmor. And yes, the TES stands for the Elder Scrolls. This is Skyrim-inspired PowerArmor, as if you couldn't tell. This is absolutely incredible PowerArmor. It is sheer brilliance. It really is. This armor just looks like it is a cross between some medieval armor and the T-51 armor. It's fairly standard power armor in most respects. You can modify it, upgrade it, you can add paint to it. It comes in a kind of rusty iron as standard. There is Skyforged steel, which I think looks very cool indeed. And there is winterized camouflage, because of course there is. And it even comes with a few unique mods, including the Hunter's Trophy for your helmet and a backpack. Yes, an actual backpack for your power armor. You can't get a jetpack for this armor, but honestly this backpack is brilliant. And yes, it allows you to carry quite a lot more. I think it's 120. And really, there's just not a lot else to say about this. This armor is absolutely inspired. I can't stop smiling. It's amazing. It really has this Skyrim feel to it, and yet, the insane thing is, it looks perfectly reasonable in the Fallout 4 world. I could imagine somebody wanting to make power armor that had this kind of look and feel. I really do love this mod. And that is all we have time for this week. Now I am hoping to be back next week with another video. There are no other things on the horizon that I have to do, so hopefully next week there will be yet another mod vault, and I hope you guys can join me for that video. I'm ending this one, of course, with screenshots that you guys have continued to post. They are absolutely brilliant, and I want to thank you all for posting. If you want to post an image for me to use in my videos, I will leave a link down below. It will show you a video showing you exactly how you can do that. I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode of the Fallout 4 Mod Vault, or on any of my other videos, and until then, remember, as always, have fun. If you're curious as to whether I've covered a mod in one of my videos, feel free to go along to my website, gophersvids.com, and check the search functionality out. Just type the name of the mod you're interested in, open up the settings, and filter by mods only. Click for search, and you will see whether or not I've covered that mod. Click on the mod, and it will also show you any of the videos this mod appears in.